Well, it's official. It's official. It's official. Your boy Ansu Fati, aka Sufati, is Barca's number. No. No. And Ansu Fati right now is chilling with the Prince of Monaco because, guys, there is a new 10 in town. It's official. It's confirmed. He put out a video on Instagram, really cool video with his dad, his mom, and of course his brother. I think Kane, I believe. His Barcelona number 10, and you see, I think I was having a convo with someone. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Juju Man who said, "It doesn't really matter what number you wear. It doesn't matter. I'm old school. I'm old school." And I think when you see some of the jerseys that I put here, those names you see next to the number 10 are very specific names. And for me, the number 10 jersey is iconic. And the guy who made it iconic was Pele. Ever since Pele wore the number 10 jersey and did what he did, being the pioneer that he was, everybody clamored for the number 10 jersey, whether it's Messi, whether it's Dino, whether it's Maradona, whether it's your boy Okocha. Everybody was like, bro, I want to wear that number 10. Because what that number 10 signifies in football. So even when I'm in school, when I was playing for teams in school or whatsoever, whoever wore that number 10 jersey, oh, that's the superstar. That's the creator. That's the spark. That's the difference maker. The number 10 jersey is a very significant number. It's a very important number. And I think that based on just what Yamal was doing and what we know he is and the talent that he is, he had to be given the number 10 jersey. He just had to be, because I think people of Barca, even your boy Laporta, knows that no. Whoever wears our Barca number 10, it's very important. It's very key. Like you don't mess with that, And again, because people will say, "Oh my gosh, could this put more pressure on him?" Again, I hope I don't. Hope that this doesn't mean like he wears a number 10 and he starts to put in like freaking Timo Werner performances afterwards. But when you just look at how Yamal carries himself, the amount of swag that he has, how confident he is, and how much confidence that he has in his ability, he knows what's up. And even more so, beyond just Barcelona, this is a footballing thing. The face of football has to wear the number 10 jersey. He has to be. Like, I can't remember the last time that a guy who was considered the face of football didn't have the number 10 jersey. Because again, you're going to have that amazing striker, that amazing defender, that amazing inside forward. But a guy who you feel this is the guy that is carrying the sport has to have the number 10 jersey, whether it was Messi, whether it was Neymar, whether it was Maradona. Remember, R9, he did wear the number 10 jersey sometimes for Inter and obviously for Barca. But I think for Inter, he wore the number 10. That's guy who is the player who pretty much embodies a generation should have that number 10 jersey. They should, because that's just how football works. We're not disrespecting keepers, defenders, midfielders, attackers. They're all important. But the guy who inspires those kids of like, no, I want to play like him. I want to go onto the pitch and be like him. It's Yamal. With all due respect, Yamal is the player as of right now who is embodying a generation, and he is the face of football. I don't care how old he is. He could be whatsoever. There is no player like him. And because he's so special, because he's so unique, and he has such a rare talent, he has to wear the number 10 jersey. So this had to happen. It simply had to happen. I think what's interesting as well are the number 10s. Because actually, I want to expand this more so I can actually see this a lot bigger. So let's go through some of this. So we obviously know Ansu Fati, which didn't really last long. Messi, obviously. Dino, obviously. I didn't know Riquelme wore the number 10. So obviously, the thing with Riquelme is, remember, like, he didn't have that good of a Barca stint. Obviously, he went to Villarreal and was much better. But see, the Riquelme thing is, because guys, again, YouTube is your friend. Go on to you, please. That's what I want to tell guys to do. Go onto YouTube and just look at clips of Riquelme. I said again, for me, he is literally one of my favorite players of all time because he's like a really deep cut. And not many people know him, But go and look at clips of Riquelme. He's literally one of the most uniquely talented footballers I've ever seen in my life. And if, let's say, because I always say to people, like, let's say, kids, you want to play central midfield. Obviously, you can look at several guys. You can look at Pierre, you can look at Javi, but if you want to look at central midfield and just learn specific, unique skills of playing that position, Juan Roman Riquelme. Go and look at that guy. That guy is one of the most unique football players out there. Just because he was one of those players where he would just bring the game to his own pace. Because when I was young, I didn't understand. I was like, wait, why is this guy so slow? Why is he taking things so slow? Because I was so young. Then when I grew older, I was like, oh my gosh, I understand what this guy is doing. This guy is psychologically like 5 steps ahead of everybody. So he's forcing everybody to play this pace, and he's bringing the whole game to his own pace. Extremely unique player. But it just didn't work for him at Barca. And I think that's the thing about football is that you could be incredibly talented. A wrong fit is a wrong fit. Some of the most talented players in the world may not even fit into that team. That doesn't make you less talented. It was just a bad fit. So, Rivaldo, bro, their names, Rivaldo, Giovanni. I remember Giovanni. Bro, Romario. I didn't know Guardiola was. That's weird. I didn't know Guardiola wore 10. Because remember, he played as a DM. I didn't know he wore 10. I didn't know Guardiola wore 10. So Guardiola 10. I didn't know Lineker wore 10. I thought Lineker was 9. Maradona 10. Kubala, who I actually don't know. And of course, the Cannibal. The Cannibal wore 10? So Yamal is following in the footsteps of some iconic players. So actually, I thought Ronaldo wore 10 when he was a support. I think Ronaldo probably wore 9 when he won that. Yeah, he probably wore 9. I think Ronaldo, he wore 10 when he got to Inter. So I think it was a 9 there. But those are some iconic names. I mean, Messi, Dino, Rivaldo, Romario, freaking amazing names. Neymar wore 11, and I think Neymar wore 10 at PSG. But yeah, he wore because when Messi had 10, he wore 11. You know. So you say to that, does this add pressure onto Yamal? This is what I always say to guys out there is that, do you know the worst thing that I hate about football? The new Messi, the new Maradona, the new Neymar. That is so stupid. Every player is unique. Forget that. Every human being is unique. There are no two human beings in life that are the same. Like, it's like me saying, oh, you are like, yeah, I know that I'm a product of my dad and my mom, but I am my own person. So don't judge me solely on my father, my mother, on my brother. I am my own person. So you cannot just say for Yamal, oh, he's going to be like Neymar, he's going to be like Messi. No, Yamal, he has already begun to forge his own unique path and has already done things unique from Dino, unique from Messi, unique from Maradona, unique from Romario, unique from Rivaldo. So rather than trying to compare him, look at what his path is and just judge him by his own path uniquely for himself. But I think, look, 100% a lot of guys will look at Messi. And even when they were giving that number 10 jersey to Messi, he was like, bro, that's a heavy jersey. That's a heavy jersey. But again, Yamal will never be as consistent as this guy. As I've always said, one of the greatest players of all time. One of the greatest careers of all time. The most consistent player ever. This may trigger people. This is going to trigger people. Messi has been the best player for arguably almost 20 years. For the best part of 20 years, he's been the best player in the world. I know that will trigger people, but I'm not here to give you my opinion. I'm here to give you a cold hard fact. So I'm not talking about movies here or music where there's like a subjectivity. This is football. I speak fluent ball, and this is just truth. He's been the best player for the best part of 20 years. Something like that, I don't think in our lifetime will ever be replicated. It never will be. And just what he's done for his career on a consistent basis is insane. Asking Yamal to do that is stupid. Yamal is never going to be as consistent as this guy. Yamal won't be the best player for the best part of 20 years. It's not going to happen. You just have to respect what Messi did and how his career was unique for that Barca number 10 jersey that was unique for himself as a guy who dominated football consistently as an individual, as the best player for the best part of like 20 years. That's what Homeboy did. that's what Homeboy did. Like, okay, I wouldn't say 20. Let's bring it back. 15. For the best part of 15 years. 15 years, he's been the best player. So Yamal ain't gonna do that. Like, Messi was the best football player in the world for the best part of 15 years. That's insane. With all the amazing players that were of his generation, that's an insane thing to do. And that's just a cold hard fact. Asking Yamal to do that is insane. It's stupid. And using that as a yardstick for Yamal is insane. It's stupid. That was something unique for Messi, unique for him, and you can't put that on your boy Yamal. You can't. It's stupid. Same thing goes for Dino. It's not an argument. Dino might be the most impactful football player of all time. In terms of how many people followed Barca because of him, in terms of the kinds of things he did on the football pitch, how many people he brought into football, how he transcended football before social media. Remember, this is like 05, 06, before Twitter was a thing, before Instagram was a thing, TikTok didn't even exist. Dino was doing stuff that was like, wait, what the heck is this guy doing? Where people were saying, oh, bro, do you know this guy's doing no-look passes? So what the swag they're doing in basketball, he's bringing it to football. The stuff you're seeing on futsal or on the streets, he's bringing that to organized football. The impact that Dino had is insane. You can't ask that from Yamal. So that's the kind of unique impact that Dino had and the kind of unique things that he did and the amount of fans he brought into football and how he brought street ball into organized football. You can't ask that from Yamal. That was just something totally unique from Ronaldinho. And that's just what made Ronaldinho unique, as in his impact was profound. And you can make an argument that he is the most impactful football player of all time. Again, I'm not talking about social media tags, likes, or off the pitch. Purely football and how he played football and the kinds of things that he did on the football pitch, he might be the most impactful football player of all time. And he's a guy who will always hold the streets for all time. So those guys, those street ballers on the streets, Dino will always be the GOAT. Because it was like, bro, this guy, he brought street football to organized football. No one has done that since. No one has done that. No one did that before him. Nobody's done that since. They've been amazing players. I think R9 is better than Dino. Messi overall is more talented than Dino. But what Dino did in terms of the kinds of things he was doing and bringing street ball, pure street ball to a football pitch, R9 didn't do that. Messi didn't do that. Pele didn't do that. Maradona didn't do that. So that unique ability, I can't ask that from Yamal. That is something totally unique for your boy Ronaldinho. So as we look at Yamal right now, man, look, as I said again, amazing player. And in a world in which players are like robots, we've got iPad players, and bro, I've heard this way, because R9 said this. I think some other people said it, but I think R9 said that, bro, he doesn't watch football. That he watches tennis more, and he finds football boring. This is like a job for me. It's become a job for me, as in commenting on football. But I know that it's hard to watch football matches. And I have to sort of like do mental gymnastics to try to create a narrative to talk about this on Hangouts. But I'm like, bro, football is getting boring. There've been a few bright spots. But overall, football right now is not as exciting as it was before. The players of before individually were better. There were more characters, more personalities, and you could pick out more individuals before because the game is micromanaged, it's way more tactical, and what you're seeing is tactic against tactic rather than individuals against individuals. Less expression, more iPads, more instructions, more micromanagement. But Yamal is a sore thumb. And Yamal is a guy that sticks out. And there are other guys. Again, shout out to your boy Florian Wirtz, shout out to Pedri, shout out to Kubarsi, shout out to Cole Palmer. There are individuals out there, and there are guys that are slowly trying to bring back that old school feeling of what football should be about and what football should really be. But so Yamal is important because Yamal is like, no, this is why we watch football. You turned on the TV because you wanted to say, what's Dino going to do? And he would always do something like, what is Dino going to do? And the beauty of football, we don't watch football for the managers or the tactics. That's like a byproduct. But the main reason that pulls us in are the superstars. The superstars are the guys that draw us in. We love football. We appreciate the tactics. We appreciate the strategies, and we debate about the tactics, the setups, the substitutions. But the joy, the juice are in the individuals, are in the superstars. Because Messi, he carried that for a long time. Now, the baton has now been given to your boy Yamal. And I think that people be like, okay, being given the number 10 jersey, you should embrace it. Because it's like a psychological thing of like, you being given the number 10 jersey is, you being said, no, you're the guy now. Dino wore that jersey. Messi wore that jersey. Maradona wore that jersey. Rivaldo wore that jersey. Romario wore that jersey. Do you know the kinds of names those are? Like Romario, Rivaldo, Messi, Dino, these are some of the most gifted football players of all time. And now you've been bestowed upon that. So you can view it as, my gosh, this is pressure, this is pressure, this is pressure. What am I going to do? Or it could be like, it's time to ball out. It's time to ball out. And it's time for me to stake my claim into that very famous pantheon of Barcelona number 10s. And Yamal's view should be, no, I want to be known as the greatest ever known number 10 that Barca's ever had. Now should be saying, whether you achieve it or not, forget that. But his vision should be, after all is said and done, I want it to be known that this is the most gifted number 10 that Barcelona has ever had. That should be the approach. So look, man, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And as a football, I will tell you guys, just I'm a football fan before a Chelsea fan. I'm a football fan before a Super Eagles fan. My number one fanship will always be football. I'm here to serve football. Yeah, I love Chelsea and everything. I'm here to serve football. So Yamal is extremely important for the survival of this channel. Because without Yamal, I don't know how this channel will survive. I don't know how I would survive or have the motivation to talk football. Because this only works by my genuine excitement for the times that exist. And Yamal is one of those rare excitements that makes this job easier. So Yamal is ready to ball out and join Chelsea in like about 4, 5, 6 years. Think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.